certain macro cues. The first quarter GDP, as we know, has come in at 13.5%, which is below market expectations of around 15%. The GVA too came in at 12.7%, which is below the poll that CNBC-TV18 threw up. Lata is here with the fine print. Lata, disappointing this time?
Yes, this 13.5% comes on top of a 20% in the first quarter of last year. So people will wonder, why is this so bad? 13.5 over 20% looks very good. But the Reserve Bank's forecast stands at 16.2. Now, if you adjust 13.5 and if the other quarters remain the same, then the Reserve Bank will have to bring down its full year forecast from 7.2 to around 6.7. I mean, just arithmetically speaking. Now, why is 13.5 bad when it is coming over 20% is the point I'm trying to make. Let me take the absolute GDP number. For Q1, the entire GDP is 36.85 lakh crore. If you compare it to Q1 3 years ago, pre-COVID, that is only 3.8% higher. Now, that is the problem, because the weakness of 2020 has not been overcome despite a 13.5. That's the important point to make. Let me take one or two areas which are particularly bad. Manufacturing. Manufacturing GDP is at 6.05 lakh crore. Looks good year on year, 4.8% higher. But look at it 3 years ago level, it's, barely 7% higher. Over 3 years, manufacturing has grown just 7%. That's bad. Construction, that's even worse. Construction GDP has come at 2.62 lakh crore. Year on year, that looks very good, 16.8% higher. But look at it from 3 year ago level. In 3 years, construction has grown 1%. And the worst performance comes from trade, hotels, transport and communication. That's a large sector. It's the biggest entry in GDP. It accounts for all the services, the Udupi hotels, all the MSMEs. That one is at 5.59 lakh crore GDP. Looks very good, 26% higher than last year. But compared to 3 years ago, it is 15% lower. That's the pain in the GDP, the MSME. Let me leave you with something which is good. Private consumption. Consumption is doing very well when you look at the Titans and the other, Asian paints of the world. That one is at 22 lakh crore and it's 10% over the 3 year period, which is good. I mean, at least it is a 3% CAGR. Not great, but at least okay. Capital formation again at 12.8 lakh crore, 20% year on year and about 7% over the last 3 years. Not terrible compared to the others. So clearly everybody had to lower their GDP, and you've got Citi lowering its GDP from, they were standing at 8%, now they've come down to 6.7%. But Citi just notes that the personal consumption is very strong, showing domestic demand is good. JPM's GDP stands at about 7%, Morgan Stanley at 7.2, CLSA at 6.8. But I can tell you that almost everyone is below 7. That looks like the state of GDP this year.
Okay, that looks like state of GDP. Well, Lata's passionate about the economy, but what this tells you is maybe she's more passionate about Udupi restaurants, like she said.
No, that's a large category, and so it is very painful when that one does badly.
I understand.
Aside from my passion.
Despite my,
my
many contributions.
Exactly.
Okay.
Both of you put together must have contributed quite a bit over the years.
In spite of it, 15% lower. So we better eat
me
more.
as well. I mean, even though I'm a North Indian, but I also have contributed a lot. But okay, we'll take a break. On the other side of this break, Aditya Suresh, Head of India Research and Strategy at Macquarie Group, will be joining us for some fundamental stock analysis. Also, we'll connect with Keki Mistry, Vice Chairman and CEO at HDFC.